woman. I use she, they pronouns. I'm a program manager with EarthForce. And EarthForce is a nonprofit. We've been around for 30 years, and our whole thing is environmental action civics, or EAC. You'll hear me say that a lot. Environmental action civics is a way of teaching and learning and interacting with students where youth adult partnership, youth voice, and community civic action is right at the forefront. So our six-step EarthForce process, we take young people through an investigation of an environmental civic issue in their community, investigate it, talk to all the stakeholders, and really get a full view of their issue. And then we're leading with those students to either do a project or take civic action on that issue for a sustainable long-term solution. So through all of those things, we really focus on working with young people in partnership as equals, really uplifting student voice and getting as involved in a community issue, in a civic issue as they can. We've seen that young people who are involved in civic life from a young age are much more likely to be civically engaged as adults. So that's really what we're going for when we talk about environmental action civics, or EAC. So that's what we do. And at EarthForce, my whole role is to train educators, whether those are folks in the classroom, folks in non-formal or informal spaces, folks who are leading their staff to go on and train their staff in environmental action civics and what they do. So I build a lot of partnerships. I train folks. I occasionally work with young people, but for the most part, we work with adults so that they can sharpen their skills and learn how to interact with young folks in that way that is in a more equal partnership. I mean, youth voice is like everywhere in the EarthForce process. It is the thread that runs through it. And we always talk about in our trainings, like, where throughout the process do you see youth voice coming up? And everyone's like, everywhere. Because we have what we call our three essential experiences. So I'll just talk about those because they fit really well. And they do illustrate how youth voice like really fits into our six-step EarthForce process, which there's a great visual. Maybe we can put it here. Um, but our three essential experiences are that youth select an issue that is rooted in their lived experience to research and dig into and take action on. So, number one, youth select the issue that they want to work on based in their lived experience. The second one is that young people co-create their learning environment. And so that's things like sharing in decision making, sharing in responsibilities once you start planning for your action project, sharing in that task management, sharing in that reflection, so that it's not just the adult or the educator like driving all of those things. It's that young people are leading and making decisions in partnership with adults. And that's that youth adult partnership piece. And our last essential experience is that young people are engaging in community power structures, speaking to power, and making an ask for change. And that's that kind of civic engagement piece. So to recap, those three are youth select an issue, youth co-create their learning environment, and that young people engage in power structures in their community and ask for change. And all three of those, I think, really embody youth voice, where it's young people making the decisions, young people kind of driving the project about what they want to do, how they want to do it, who they want to consult and work with, and who they want to ask for change and what they would like that ask to be, whether that is to community policymakers, school decision makers, other folks in their community. Say, for a more like personal behavior change, they might advocate for folks to use compost bins more often. And that's still kind of an ask for change in practice to people other in their community. And all of those like transcend the entire EarthForce process. So at every step when you're working with young people, we are looking for where is a place where if we're making a decision that young people can make that decision. And whether it is super small, about like uh, what do we want to talk about today? Or a really big decision about like, okay, what do we want to do for our semester long project? What issue do we focus on? Who do we want to talk to? That's a really great place to highlight youth voice kind of wherever you can. Um, and that is how we kind of weave together those three essential experiences and our whole process. And I always tell people like if you can't do an entire EarthForce process front to back, that's okay. As long as you incorporate one or two or three of the essential experiences, like young people are still having a a formative time and a like net positive impact on their life if they're having one of these experiences. So the Earth Force process is one way of getting to environmental action civics, but not the only way. And it's a really good framework for taking young people through investigating an issue or working on a project. It's a really great framework for project-based learning, place-based learning, inquiry-based learning, like all of those. If you're in that world, the process is going to step through all of those. So step one is discovery. And this can look like taking your students out to do some problem finding in your community, taking a look at what's present in our community, what is missing, what are some of the issues, strengths, weaknesses. That can look like a community inventory. So just looking around and seeing what's going on in our community, who's here, what's going on. Step two is a decision-making phase, and that is where students are selecting that issue, that single issue that they want to work on for the rest of their time. And that really connects to that essential experience that we talked about. Step three is research. So students are really digging into the issue that they selected, talking to community experts, gathering as much information as they can about who, what, where, when, why to get the full picture of the issue that they're working on. Step four is another decision-making step, and this is where students are deciding on the strategy that they want to take to address their issue. So there's a lot of like criteria-based decision-making, debate, discussion, again, that youthful coming in there, to decide what do we want to do about the thing? What change do we want to see? And step five is your action step, where you are taking the action, you're making the ask for change, you're doing the project, you are getting out in your community and making that change happen. This is a really good step for that youth adult partnership where you are sharing in decision making, sharing in task management, sharing in like executive functioning that needs to happen to make this project go. And step six is researching, reflection and assessment, where you are reflecting as a group on how things grew, how things changed, what did we get done, what advice would we give for someone to do this all over again. Um, that is my favorite step. I think it is the most important to do that co-reflection with your students. And again, golden egg opportunity for student voice right there as you're reflecting. And that's it. That's the whole Earth Force process. The thing that you can start doing tomorrow to uplift youth voice in your programs is start getting to know your students, building rapport and building a relationship with the young people who you're working with is going to give them the safety and confidence and energy that they need to start feeling like their voice does matter and to start using it. There's a really awesome quote from Bell Hooks. But basically she says something along the lines of like, if we claim to love our young people and respect them, that respect looks like listening to them. And so yeah, listening and building that relationship are the two things that you can do to start letting youth voice take the center stage in your program.